Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spear Guns. Today we're going to look at mechanisms, guides, rails, shafts, all those sorts of hardware sort of stuff that you find on different spear guns and the reason behind them. So if we start with a guide, so this Bowshar gun, entry-level guns tend to have just a guide in them here at the beginning, which helps to keep the shaft straight, but it only does it until it gets to that part of the gun. As you then go up, you end up with what most spear guns have got is a full rail that runs the whole length of the barrel, which means that as that shaft leaves the mechanism, goes out nice and straight, so therefore you're getting a straighter shot. Okay, so now we're going to look at the other end of the gun a little bit, and we're going to look at muzzles, difference between a closed muzzle and an open muzzle. Closed muzzle, like the name suggests, is closed in over the shaft. What this means is you load the shaft down through here, all the way down to the mechanism. Normally with these guns, because it's closed here and has a top on it, I suppose, we have shafts, notches in the shaft down to this end. So that means that you've got, when you're loading it, you've got to load it all the way down onto the notches. We don't want to put notches halfway up a shaft because it would make a weak point and potential for it to bend. If you have an open muzzle gun, the advantage is you can just slot it into the mechanism down here without having to load it from the other end of the gun. But also the big advantage that I see is that we can put shark fins on it. So these are welded onto the shaft. What this means, like in this case here, we've got a shark fin here. We can do a half load to this point, take our breath, regroup, and then do the full load down to the end here. So these guns here with this sort of configuration are a lot easier to load than the one with the notches in where you've got to come all the way and down the end. Then with some brands, Bowshar is one of them, they have different mechanisms for different guns. So Bowshar has their Marlin mechanism for the entry-level guns, and then their Hero mechanism for their higher-end guns. And basically with the mechanism, what you're looking for is how well it holds onto that shaft when it's under load and how easy it is to release it. So the better quality mechanism, the easier that those two functions are going to work. This one here, the Hero, as you can see, the mechanism, this part of the mechanism here is actually in behind the trigger. We call this a reverse mech, as opposed to that one where it's in front of the mech. So what that means is that on the Hero guns, they are actually a little bit shorter because the shaft comes a little bit further into the handle and mechanism, so a little bit easier to track through the water. Cool, so that is talking about mechanisms. We've talked about shark fins versus notches. We've talked about rails versus guides. And we've talked about the different types of muzzles. So come in store and check us out. We've got a whole range of different guns in stock. We can tell you what's going to be the best one for you. And tune in next time where we talk about rubbers and rigging and stuff like that. See you next time.